Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
Every week, we dissect, mutilate, dismember, and butcher all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events.
So what are we going to talk about this week, Sean?
This week, we discuss Tremors.
You know every character is going to be some like inbred southern fuck like in every Rob Zombie movie. So we have the weirdest dialogue ever.
Always. Probably a lot of hints of rape, like a rapey vibe. That's what Rob does. Like
rapey vibe, and then having the characters talk about how much they love the Marx Brothers.
Yeah, dude, that is my all-time favorite scene. Not because of the Marx Brothers talk, but because of if you ever say a bad thing about Elvis Aaron Presley again, I will fucking kill you.
It has nothing to move the plot along.
Dude, I love that scene. It's my favorite scene of all. When people shit on Elvis Presley, I always say that line. And they're like, what? And I'm like, oh, it's from this movie that clearly no one's seen except myself.
It has nothing to do with the movie.
No. And like never comes back. Like, if you ever... Oh my god, I love that. That's my favorite scene. That's possibly one of my favorite scenes in horror of all time.
I saw it in theaters opening night, and I laughed so hard. And
equally as good as that line is the Marx Brothers fan that's like, that fuck Elvis Presley didn't die. Groucho deserved the credit. Like, he was pissed off. It was like It's like I imagine there's people at conventions that probably talk like that to each other, like in line, and they almost come to.
I can confirm.
Yeah, like, what'd you just say about Michael Myers, you pussy piece of shit? It's just so crazy. It's wild. Like, you go on Tumblr. Well, I've been running the Tumblr page, and by the way, we are so off the tracks already. I don't know how much of this
is recording.
Yeah, it's recording. I don't know how much of this is going to make the show though. But on the Tumblr pages, it's like. It's so funny how defensive people are about stuff with no, like, in their bios. So it's not even like a conversation. But like, I saw this one bio that was like, love horror, hate rape and gratuitous gore. Like, I spit on your grave. Hate that. This is in his bio. Hate that movie. But everything else is good. Like, it's like, what? Why do you have to explain that? Like, just, who cares?
I told you at the last con I went to, there was a guy with hair covering his eyes facing the wall and having a conversation with himself about the best use of Godzilla in any of the original Japanese movies.
The best use?
Yeah.
Like, the whole movie? What? All right, guys, welcome to the Horror Show. This week, we are talking about Tremors, which is celebrating its 15th year?
No, 25th.
What?
1990.
Oh, my God, that is crazy. I forget that the 90s are not 15 years ago.
It's weird. 1995 was 20 years ago.
25 years?
Yes. January 19th, so just celebrated its 25th birthday.
Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, January 19th. Yeah, you are right. So, what are your memories of this movie? Do you have any memories about this movie?
Well, I saw it when I was really young, and I remember loving it because, like we've talked in the past, I love creature films.
Yep.
I thought it was a cool creature, a unique creature. It kind of reminded me of those things, the sandworms. Well, later on, yes, I was going to say later on when I read Dune, it reminded me of that.
Okay, yeah.
But what I was going to say was watching the Beetlejuice cartoons.
Yeah, I think anyone our age that saw this was like, sandworms? Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so I always thought that was cool. And Tremors is always on TV. I don't think I've ever sat and watched it all the way through while it was on TV, but I won't change it while it's on.
Dude, it was crazy. I have the same exact... That is my fondest memory. Like, I think that was on TV every Saturday.
I think it still is on TNT.
That's crazy. That's yeah. It was always on TNT, TBS, or even like local markets would sometimes run them. Yeah, no, that's like my fondest memories, watching it on TV. And yeah, same thing. Like, start it halfway through, sure.
Yeah,
like there were. I'm pretty sure I have memories like I can't remember them, but I'm guaranteeing it was one of those movies where I caught it at the beginning and I was like, oh, this is what happened before. Oh, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. So that's what they're doing out in the desert. Like, oh, that's good to know. All right, cool. Like, I vividly remember that. I don't know if I ever rented it or not. I don't think I did. If my parents let me rent that when it was on TV every Saturday, I'd be
just a waste of money.
Yeah, $250, wasted $250. Oh my god, it was on TV every week. Now, one of the other funny notes, I was going to bring it up at the end, but we might as well I want to talk about it now. So we watched it on TV, and it was always visibly censored. Like, Kevin Bacon says, like, mother truckers or something, like he says something along those lines. It looks like he's going to say motherfuckers, and he says like mother truckers. Turns out it was edited for theater distribution prior to. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So those censored lines, you can see them in this, even in the real version. They censored it so they wouldn't get an R rating.
You know what? Now that you say that, I think I actually read about that. I just failed to make note of that.
Isn't that crazy?
They only left that one "fuck you" line in when the first.
It had too many fucks. They were like trying to cut down everything to get to PG-13, which I'd love to see an R Tremors. And
a director's cut of Tremors.
Give me a director's cut of Tremors. Oh, it's probably only that.
It's just that, just the additional motherfucker.
But yeah, I mean, that was. As a kid, I was always like, I wish this was uncensored. And then I watched it, and it was still censored. DVD release, censored.
That was the thing, like, revisiting it in its entirety right now was... I loved it. Yeah. I enjoyed it, but it felt like it was a made-for-TV movie. Like, it was kind of hard to believe that this got, like, a big release.
100%. I completely agree. And I think it actually did well in the box office, which is even crazier.
Did it?
I think so. I think it did actually really well. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but... I think when I was looking up notes and stuff that I'd seen that it actually had done really well in the box office.
Oh, I was under the impression that it didn't, but then the VHS sales.
VHS did? Yeah. Oh, maybe that's what it was too. I think it did actually good on both. Like it wasn't terrible in theaters, and then the VHS was like a huge boom.
Yeah.
Now that you say that.
I actually kind of found it hard to believe that it was 1990 that it came out. Like it feels like it was like early 80s.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I was like, yeah, this movie's pretty old. Like,
yeah. Like, probably the first time I saw it, the movie was only like 2 years old.
I was a big Kevin Bacon mark, so he was very young in this.
Yeah, you know what? I like thinking about it, watching it right now. I was like, this is weird that Kevin Bacon starred in this because he's a huge star.
Yeah.
But I looked up what he was in before this, and most of the movies he was in, besides Footloose, which was obviously huge, and
Footloose was before this, right?
Footloose was before this.
So he just
Animal House, Friday the 13th, and Diner. But like, he had small parts in a lot of
all
those movies. Like, I wouldn't
funny.
say he was a huge star.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Well, Footloose was, but
yeah, but you'd think he would have gotten that extra role and not from Tremors.
Yeah,
like that's a little wild. And he's like,
but I love the fact that he starred in this. Like, he read this script and was like, "Yep, put me in the lead."
I'm in, which
Kevin
is weird
Bacon,
also because I've heard interviews with him, and he is like Mr. Thespian.
Yeah, that's why. I was
like,
this is pretty late in his career. Not late in his career, but
so Tremors
not starting off.
Yeah. So a couple other things that I thought was crazy was there's not crazy. A couple things that I thought was wild that I remembered was and these things stuck out. Just their tongues, their disgusting tongues of the monsters. I loved them. And then for whatever reason, the elephant gun.
Oh, that's probably the best.
That is like in my brain. Like if somebody were like name some guns, I'd be like, the elephant gun in Tremors, whatever that is. And I guess that gun that they used for that is actually like a treasured trophy antique gun.
Really?
I found out. Yeah, they borrowed it from an antique collector for this movie.
I mean, that wall of guns during that scene is so badass.
They had to make special blanks for that gun because it's like such an antique.
Wow.
I know, it's wild.
Did you notice how big those shells were that they were putting
humongous.
in? It was awesome.
They were humongous. They're not real. That's why. It's crazy. All right, so let's talk about Tremors. Let's talk about the counts first. We got 9 dead bodies in this. We've got 4 dead graboids, which I did not know was the term.
I didn't either. That sounds bad, doing a horror show podcast, but I didn't know they had a name.
I didn't know they had a name either.
Worms.
But then again, we just watched these like as kids, and we're like, the worms.
I
just called them Tremors.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah. I should have wrote this down. I was reading on some webpage that there's a scientific name for the graboids.
Yes, and it's like oh my gosh, it's something like Mexicanos.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Which okay, that's so funny.
Why did somebody do that?
Why did somebody come up with that name? And second, these guys are in Nevada. I waited to find out where this took place, and it is in Nevada. So these Tremors went from Mexico to Nevada, and just like we're like, we need to get to Vegas.
Like, that's all they wanted to do.
We just need to get to Vegas. Fuck these other states. We're not going to terrorize anyone. We're just going to get to Vegas and fuck up this desolate shithole, which is what the town was. So 4 dead graboids, which is crazy that they call them that in the movie too, and I still never called them that. Oh, yeah. Wild. 1 dead horse. 20 dead sheep.
That horse scene was pretty brutal.
People counted these, by the way. Somebody counted the sheep. Like, I was watching the sheep. I looked these numbers up through a website afterwards. Yeah, during the sheep scene, I was like, oh man, I wish I counted all those sheep, but I'm not rewinding it to count sheep. Somebody did for us. 20 dead sheep. And that's it. That's our death toll for this. It's a little light.
Yeah, but... It was effective enough. Like it wasn't too much at once. And
made you scared, right? All right, so let's get into the show. I mean, we're going to change this up from what we used to do on our old podcast, so it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, this one. So I don't even know. Do we even want to go through the whole thing? I mean, we're starting out in this fucking desert.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
I still don't know what Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward's characters do. Like, what is their actual job?
Well, they're always worried about stampedes. I think they're just handymen.
That's what my fiance said.
Yeah, I think they're just handyman, but like really hard labor handyman.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, can you get the tree stump out of my yard? It's like, we need you to build a fence in the middle of a fucking desert for our 4 cattle that we have. And they're like, okay. Sure, and they're sleeping out there. Like, they're living a hard life.
Yeah, they are.
For a shitty job. We're also introduced to Rhonda, the local geologist who
has so much fucking sunscreen on her nose. Did you notice that in the first time you see her?
So she has so in the first time the first time they meet her, they're talking to her, and there's clearly some tension. I didn't know who she ended up with until the end. I was like, is she going to end up with
Fred Ward?
Because I thought she was going to end up with Fred Ward.
Dude, so did I.
Because the whole movie, Kevin Bacon's like, fuck that bitch. Like,
yeah, those two Fred Ward and her were clearly into each other the whole time.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh.
What a swerve.
I was like, oh my gosh, maybe she ends up with Fred Ward. That's crazy. Like, I always thought she ended up with Bacon, but whatever.
No.
So anyway, so she meets them for the first time out in the desert. They go meet her because they're like, a girl in town? And they drive, that's the reason they drive to meet her. They're like horned up. So they go out to meet her, and she comes out with the most ridiculous amount of suntan lotion over her nose, and they're talking, and I don't even think anyone brings any attention to it, and they do their pleasantries, and then Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon leave. We should probably be calling them by their name, Earl and Valentine.
Yeah.
So they leave, and then she touches her nose and looks at it like, oh gosh, I had suntan lotion on my nose. How do you not know? It's like, only on your nose.
Do people do that in real life? Because I've seen it in other movies. Just caked on your... Like, why don't you rub this shit in?
Dude, I think that must be... I would love to know the first instance of it, but it must be like the first time somebody ever used suntan lotion and like tried to put it on and had a little bit on their nose, and everyone's like, this guy's got suntan lotion on his nose, what an asshole. And yet somehow it still goes on to this day. That running joke that people just leave the cream on their nose as a protective barrier against the sun makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So now we're also introduced to, I think I wrote his name down on my notes. Is his name Chang?
Victor Chang.
Is it Chang?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're introduced to Chang, who owns like the only store in the town. I thought Chang was the best character. And did you know that like family line, the Chang family line, continues into the current Tremors?
I did not.
It's like, it's his daughters and sibling. Like, it's crazy. It's out of control. I saw it because there is a Tremors Wikipedia page, like not Wikipedia, the Wikia,
yeah,
where people make like dedicated
like
Wikipedias,
yeah.
and there's a Tremors one, and it's like the Chang clan, and it shows all of them. There's like 7 of them for the last 6 movies. It's out of control.
It's Walter Chang, by the way.
Walter Chang. Okay. So we're introduced to him. We also meet the 2 survivalists who come in later, Bert and Heather Gummer. Most hillbilly fucking name I've ever read. And that is Michael... What's his name?
Michael Gross
and
Reba
McEntire. I think this is Reba's first acting role.
It is. And I actually wrote this down. I was going to ask you. Let's play a game. Let's play, you guess how old Reba was in this movie and how old Fred Ward was in this movie.
Oh. All right. So Reba was looking pretty young. Dude, this is crazy because I don't know either of their ages right now. So Reba, I'm going to go... She's looking pretty old these days, but she looks good. 40?
You think Reba was 40 in the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, guess how old Fred Ward was before.
God, he looks like fucking hell warmed over in this. 45?
Okay, so Fred Ward was 48, so that was a good guess. Okay. I thought he looked pretty good for a 48-year-old in that movie.
For a 48-year-old, he looked pretty good, but he was looking rough.
Reba McEntire was 25 years old in this movie.
Oh my God. Wait. Okay, so that I think is a credit to Reba. Knowing what she looks like now, because
she's aged like fine wine.
Yeah. We are not Reba fans, so it's not like we like know her career by any means. So now I know she's an older woman because she plays one on TV and she's clearly older. She shows signs of age, but knowing that she was. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if they... Like you just said, I'm not a fan of Reba, so I don't know what she looked like when she came up.
Exactly.
I don't know if they made her look like that for the movie.
But she looks great. I mean, she looks kind of the same. Like, that's why I thought she was older then. I thought she was like... I guess I would have thought she was 65. I would have thought she was 70 now. But Dolly Parton's like 70. Yeah. She looks great, too.
But Fred Ward's 72 now. And I was like, damn, he looked pretty good. Like, how old was he in this movie? So I looked that up, and I was like, man, Reba must be the same age. No, she was 25 years old.
I think Fred's been rode hard and put away wet a few times by this point. Fred Ward's looking... I mean, he's not bad. He fits the role perfectly. He looks like a fucking ranch hand. Unlike pretty boy Kevin Bacon, who's like never seen the sunlight in his life. I mean, that's wild. So we're introduced to those characters who end up coming back later. Now, one of the weird things about this movie I thought was weird was we find out that Kevin Bacon... And I'm just going to call them by their names.
It's way
I
easier.
hate Valentine and Earl.
Yeah.
And no one's going to know who we're talking about. Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward reveal that they're going to some township, Bixby Permanent. But the weird thing I thought about the whole thing was that they live together. They're like life partners.
Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
They're like, we got to move together.
I was wondering, because their chemistry is so good. Like, to be honest, they're the best part of that.
They're fucking lovers.
Like, the chemistry between Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward is the best part of the whole movie. Like, they're so good, but like, they have to be lovers.
They're so desperate for
it's the original Brokeback Mountain.
They're so desperate for a new woman in town because they're like, we need to find an outside girl that doesn't know us. One of us will marry her. That's it. The stories can go away.
Oh, that's great.
They sleep in their truck bed together. It's very, very Brokeback Mountain-esque. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just out in the woods, just...
Yeah.
Stampede! Classic joke. So that was odd to me. That was really odd to me. So they decide they're going to leave town. They're going to go to Bixby Permanent, where for greener pastures, I suppose. On their way out, though, they see some guy named Ed.
The guy's up on top of the pole.
On the pole.
Yeah.
And he's dead as a doornail.
It's Ed up there again.
Yeah, that's the funny part. Like, it's such a weird thing to happen. Why wouldn't you just have some stranger up on the pole and be like, hey, why is that fucking asshole climbing up on a super high voltage electrical power line? Why is he just hanging out up there? But instead they're like, oh, that's all Fred doing his business, doing old Fred stuff. And then the other guy's like, well, let's just check on him just to be sure. Like, what? That makes no sense. If I knew Fred to be a guy that climbed power lines and I saw him up there, I'd be like, all right, let's just...
Yeah, fuck you, Fred.
Fred, I don't give a shit if you're dead. You deserve it at this point. If you have this reputation, you don't deserve to be saved. And there's not anything we can do.
Who do you think is probably a bigger asshole in town, Fred or Melvin?
Dude, Melvin is such a little dick. But But the biggest asshole, and I don't even know his name, I wrote him down as the tall, skinny guy who just fucking makes the most horrible facial expressions anytime somebody throws out an idea. I don't think he has a line in the movie. He just rolls his eyes and is like, these fucking assholes. Like, he's so pissed the whole time. I don't even know if he survives or not. He might. I honestly don't know if he dies or not. He's such a prick, though. So they stumble upon this guy. He's dead up there. So, who gives a shit? But that makes them, hey, we gotta go back to town and let everyone know Fred's dead on the pole.
Yeah.
We also get, which I would call our first official victim, which is the guy that ran the farm, the sheep farm that we discussed earlier. I think his name's Edgar. Or no, Edgar was the guy up on this stupid fucking pole. This guy's name was Fred. Oh boy, this is going to start getting confusing. This guy's character's name was Fred. It wasn't Fred Ward.
We won't talk about him for a while.
Yeah, no. But I call this guy the first official victim because it's the first, like, the ground starts rumbling and he's on his sheep farm and his sheep are acting all crazy and then the tremor slaughters all of them, which they find later. Yeah, damn it. Wait, did I just call him a tremor?
Call it a tremor, yeah.
That's so funny.
That's what I would call it.
I'll never drop that.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's a tremor, guys. That is a tremor. And one of the things that I love about this movie is, I like a lot about this movie, but I don't like a lot also. After rewatching it, I realized it's not as good as I remembered it as a kid. This should have been vaulted. This should have been like...
Really?
I don't mind it, but it's just not... My memories are like, this movie was amazing, crazy, not scary, but just like a really fun watch constantly. Like you could watch over and over, and I don't feel that way now. Like I don't want to watch this movie ever again.
See, I disagree.
Really?
Yes.
I'd like to watch all those sequels though. I really would at this point because I'm not. I just don't want to see this movie again because I get it now.
I mean, I thought
the fact that they made it PG-13, kind of,
I don't know. I just thought it was fun.
It is fun, and I do like it.
I think it's kind of like the same reasons I liked Tusk. It's just like so silly,
so out of control.
It's just out there.
It wasn't even any of that for me. I think it really was just. I just don't think it was like a well-made movie. Like,
oh no, it's not.
The fact that they took out the swearing and stuff, it just kind of takes away from like they weren't like, let's make a great horror movie. They're like, all right, we need people to watch this, so make it PG-13 and don't do anything stupid. Like that's what they did. Like it wasn't about making a great movie. It was about making a Tremors, like just this movie that they could pump money into.
True, but where you just left off talking about, where the movie took us so far. When they find the first couple of corpses, I thought that scene was great.
No, that's actually what I was about to bring up. Was one of the best parts to me is the little gore that there is so great because of the blood is like neon red. It's so great. It's just this brightest, most unrealistic color of red, and I fucking love it. And it's exactly how I remember it as a kid. Like, I remember being like, as a kid, being like, oh, that blood looks fake. I wonder if it's my TV. Like, you know what I mean? I wonder if I get the VHS if it's, like, more realistic. But it was the same bright red. I loved it. Right. It was like neon. It was amazing. So, yeah. So, I love the gore. And, yeah, this is the first scene that we really see the gore is those guys the like state workers that were like, huh? Where are those guys going in a hurry?
The jackhammer guy? Yeah. When they tell him to get out of here, there's a serial killer loose, and he's just like, he's just bullshit. Yeah. They're not even like
bullshit. Not even taking it. Were those the smallest town ever?
Were those mustaches real? You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
They could not be real.
They might not be. They were.
The one guy with the jackhammer, that mustache was so large. There's no way he actually grew that.
That's so amazing. I didn't even think about it. Oh, we never talked about our beer. Yeah. I almost didn't bring it up, but I almost just spit it out everywhere when you said that about the mustaches. Guys, this week we're drinking Weyerbacher, Blithering Idiot. It's a Blithering Idiot. It's a barley wine. It's 11% alcohol, so
it's delicious.
Speech will be slurred through this from me, not Joe. Joe's got a liver of, I don't know, liver. Just got a 20-year-old liver. Anywho,
like a Dudley Moore in his prime.
Yeah. So we also are introduced. We also see a couple more death scenes. The people building their home, but the guys get back to town and are trying to warn everyone about what's going on. And the town at this point is like really banding together, and you're like, "Oh, this is nice." Later, it just like self implodes. It's like everyone hates each other, and not that much further into it. It's so wild. It's like they were really only together for this moment. They were like, "Yeah, let's figure this out," and then they were like, "Go fuck yourselves. You guys are fucking jerks. Fuck these Tremors. Fuck you." But yeah, so this scene I think is pretty important. We should talk about the pole vaulting scene. This is our first like real introduction to the Tremors. Like we've seen they've been killing people, but really from underground. And this is like the first time we actually get to meet like what a tremor is and what they do. And this is also when the inconsistencies become very, very. This is actually my biggest concern with the movie and why I think it's not that great. Is the inconsistencies are so out of control. Like not even, dude. It's horror. It's horror. It's all fake. I get it. I don't want to be that guy, but the inconsistencies in this are just so out of control. So they're on a rock. It's Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, and our girl,
and
the geologist.
Finn Carter is her name.
Are you serious?
That's
I didn't even know that.
That's her real name.
Her real name. Oh my god! I was like, I don't even think I heard that name while watching this. So they're on a rock. They're like, okay, we got the Tremors chase them onto the rock. Well, Kevin Bacon has killed one at this point also by jumping over like a ravine.
Wait, didn't one latch onto their car, to their truck?
Yeah, that was when they were passing by the
and then Chang offers him $5 for it.
Yes.
Chang, we just killed a fucking monster. $5 for it? So,
yeah. And my favorite part is that Chang immediately sets up a chair that says, "Take a picture with the Graboid, $5 a picture." And there's a little sign on it. And stupid ass Melvin is like, like playing in it. And
Melvin is the worst.
Melvin is the absolute worst. And during the movie, it sucks so bad. It's so terrible. They're doing this thing where it's like, you know what the setup is. Like the whole movie, it's like, Melvin cries wolf all the time. So it's like, Melvin, God damn it. Like throughout the whole movie, you hear it like 6 times. And then finally it's legit. It's like, God damn it, Melvin, I'm going to kick your ass. It's just so ridiculous. It's just so out of control. I mean, warranted, but they probably should have kicked his ass a long time.
Also, I was like, Melvin's face looks super familiar. So I looked him up. That dude has been, if you can name any cliche, like 80s and early 90s TV show, he's been in every single one of them.
I think he's still in the Tremor movies.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's like, I think he's now their star. Asshole Melvin, who's dealt with them the first round, goes toe to toe in number 7 or whatever they're on now. They're making another one.
I think that'd be 5.
I think, is it 5?
Yeah, I think there's only 4.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope there's 7. I hope you guys got 7 more in the tank. Who's financing these?
Melvin.
Hollywood's so Melvin's sinking his own money, waiting for the big Tremors break to happen again to rekindle that 90s flame. Oh my god, the money grab back then was amazing in Tremors. So we meet. So yeah, the Graboid grabs onto their truck. They rip it off. That's really, I guess, our first introduction. They chase Kevin Bacon. He jumps over the ravine. It smashes its head and dies instantly. Like, first of all, that scene was like, if you saw that monster, like, so he's like looking at him through broken concrete, and you can, it's not of this earth.
Right.
If you're Kevin Bacon, are you like, yeah, fuck you, man? Like, are you doing that? Or are you like,
getting in your car and getting the fuck out of here.
This is out of control. Somebody else can handle this. This thing, there's no way this thing died bashing its head into concrete. This thing looks enormous. But it died. And blood leaks out, just to show you. Bright orange, red blood leaks out.
See, I thought the monster looked cool. Like,
I love that monster.
The props that made it, it's just cheesy enough, but it's not so ridiculous.
I don't think it's cheesy at all. I think it's a really good monster.
It is.
I think it's how it propels through the dirt. I don't know.
I've seen way worse.
Oh yeah, way worse. This monster's great, and there's actually a new video online. If you guys YouTube it, I don't know what it's. I know it was on Bloody Disgusting. They posted it, or HorrorSociety.com. There's a behind the scenes movie about them making this thing.
Really?
They had a full size one. full body one, and I think it was just for the final scene where it comes flying out of the fucking whatever, because that's the only time you see their whole body.
Yeah.
But they had a full size one. It was enormous. It was so cool to watch them build it, though.
Oh, yeah. I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's really cool. So now these guys are stuck on a rock because the second Tremor. How many were there, like, in total?
How many Graboids?
Oh, yeah, I guess it's the amount that died. So 4?
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot more than that. But so they're stuck on this rock.
The pole vault.
They stay there all night, and the Graboid never moves. And this will come in later into the inconsistencies because, like in other scenes in the movie, it's like somebody tiptoes, and they're like, the Graboid's there. Like, they hear it. Why wouldn't this Graboid be like, oh, these guys aren't on this rock anymore. I'm going to go back to the town where everyone's still fucking walking around.
Yeah, right.
Living their lives. It made no... That was the part, like, where I was just like, oh, come on. Like, that's good. And then, like, Kevin Bacon just sits still on the dirt. He's, like, on the ground. And he's just standing later in the movie. And you're like, yeah, this fucking thing waited by a rock, being like, I'm waiting for you guys to make a move. And he's not like, must be on a rock.
Not to mention Kevin Bacon's actually moving by shifting his weight when he lifts up one foot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. So that's where my inconsistency...
See, I didn't think of that hard into it while watching it.
I didn't want to.
I see what you're saying.
It just happened, though. Like, it really happened during that town scene, like the final scenes. It was just like...
Now that you're saying it, I see it. It doesn't change my opinion, but...
No, and it shouldn't. And, like, Melvin in the bathroom, like, guys, what do I do? Like, what? The Tremor could eat that... It ate a truck, for fuck's sake.
when it ate that car with the lady and the guy... Did you see the headlights?
Yes.
It's so ridiculous.
So there was the other glaring inconsistency. Kevin Bacon is on a rock. No problem. Kevin Bacon is on the ground. No fucking problem. We were going to leave you alone.
So
Ladies in a car being silent. Comes out of the fucking ground and eats the entire fucking car. What is happening?
Maybe it's a different Graboid. Maybe there's different ones.
Or maybe Graboids are just like, yeah, maybe some are like, don't know about rocks yet. Because clearly if they just smack their head into it, they die. They're not fast enough to chase down a human.
Maybe it's a Jaws 4 type scenario. Maybe Kevin Bacon, the one that was attached to Kevin Bacon's truck, was the one by the Rock's kid, so it was just hunting him down.
And I really don't want to pick this apart, but I'm going to start if I keep thinking about it because it's just so out of control. Girl on the pogo stick bouncing around. What the fuck? What are you doing? So I mean, the movie goes on from there. I don't even think we have to explain it all.
Nah.
Most of you guys have seen it. So we basically, the Graboids start terrorizing this town. We start seeing guys getting picked off left and right. Chang, unfortunately, loses his life. Again, another...
Dude, why him? He was the only one of that core group.
It made no sense. I thought he lived, but oh well.
How good was Michael Gross, though? Michael and Reba were awesome.
Michael and Reba were amazing.
They were legitimately acting their asses off.
They were amazing. They were acting. Michael Gross was like, I gotta make this
after
one.
the elephant gun scene, Michael Gross's acting was so good.
He was the best actor in it.
His emotions were wonderful.
Yeah. So we all end up on the roof. Now,
well, I'm sorry. Did you notice their license plate? Michael Gross and Reba's.
Oh, yeah.
It was like Uzi for you.
Yeah, Uzi for you. Yeah. Uzi for you.
I need that license
so
plate.
ridiculous. I think you'd be arrested. I think you'd get pulled over so much more if you had that license plate. That's a red flag right there. Homeland Security doesn't like flags. Homeland Security doesn't like license plates like that. That's for sure. So basically everyone ends up hiding on their roofs.
Yeah.
To avoid these things,
yep.
Which, as we learned, you didn't need to be on a roof. You just had to be silent.
Right. You could just be walking.
I'm going to start being pissed off. I'm going to start getting pissed off. Because, oh my God. They came through the floor of the restaurant.
They did go after Finn Carter's character while she was on the roof when the water was coming down.
Yeah, that's true. That was weird, though.
I guess that destroys my theory of different Graboids because it's the same one that was waiting by Kevin Bacon's feet.
And they kept like referencing the one with the one dead tentacle. They're like, oh, there he is. There's the one we got. That's so stupid. Yeah, but that was Finn Carter. Where does she rank for you as a babe for a horror movie? I talked about the gore score. We're going to do an episode, probably our next episode is probably going to be you and me kind of discussing how we would rate a horror movie. I don't know if we'd actually use the gore score on the show. I'd kind of like to find a score system that we can use so we can compare how we thought about them in a more concise fashion. But where does she rank for you as a Babe? Because Babe is a category in my gore score.
That's a good question.
So, in my opinion...
Not nearly enough titties.
TNA, right? So, in my opinion, the gore score for Babes, it's not just about boobs.
Well, okay, so not to cut you off, but since you asked me, I think a pretty badass chick would rank high, and I would actually put Reba higher than Finn.
Oh my god, dude, my mind is fucking blown. My mind is fucking blown. I would change my gore score for this. Holy shit, Reba's way higher.
Yeah, I mean,
I did like the pantsless scene. No pants, running around in granny panties.
Finn's better looking in the movie, but Reba's...
But she's not even that good looking.
She's not bad.
I'm gonna be really critical here. Because you know I'm
better
so
than
handsome
Reba in the movie.
I'm so fucking handsome. Well, Reba's just Reba. Like, she's sexless to me. Like,
she looks good now.
I still think she's like just a sexless creature. Like, she's just Reba. She's just Reebs. Respect the shit out of her. Peace, Reebs. That was like for somebody that's dead. But so I thought she was lacking though. As the main girl, you're right. Reba is way higher on the Babes category than this one. She is such a fucking badass.
She's badass, yeah.
Such a badass. But this, as being the lead female, not great. Not great.
Yeah.
Not
gorgeous.
Not strong by any means. She kind of doesn't do a whole lot of anything.
Right.
Would you agree?
I agree.
With that?
I agree.
I'm trying to think of a scene where she's like really strong, and there really isn't one.
Yeah, and I mean, now that you say that, they do kind of set her up to be like the heroine, and
right.
she's just not.
She's the geologist. You're like, oh, she's gonna know. She's gonna figure out how to put dynamite in the ground.
She's just there.
No, she's just fucking.
You're right.
She's just there, like waiting for Kevin Bacon to take her home. Oh boy. But yeah, so I had her really low. I was just curious what your thoughts on were. But that Reba, that Reba thing,
definitely higher.
Yeah. So let's just talk about the end of this movie because we're running out of time here.
Yeah.
What do you think about the ending of it?
I liked it.
I like it. The ending scenes are great. I like Michael Gross is 100% right. When he gets pissed at them on the rock, he's like, why the fuck did you take us out here? And they're like, I don't know. Like, we just thought we could get to rocks. Like, what?
And then they threaten Michael Gross.
Yeah, they were like, they threaten Michael Gross, and they're saying, well, you wouldn't have been safe at your house. Why the fuck not? Every other instance of these things hitting cement, they died. So, except when they came into his fucking house through the side. But why wouldn't you be safe in that house?
I know. And he has more weapons
He has
than
tons of
fucking
weapons
anyone.
that he left there. Yeah. He could have just taken them all upstairs and just fucking plopped them on their heads. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Michael Gross, and I think he is in the new ones too.
Is he?
I think he stayed for a while. He still might be doing that.
He's going to be at that con I told you about.
Yeah.
We need to go and
Which
talk
con?
to him.
It's the Chiller Con?
It's the Chiller. Yeah.
And that's in New Jersey?
Yes.
So guys, if you guys know about Chiller Con, come out. You won't recognize us. Maybe we'll have some shirts made by then. Find us. We'll give you something if you go to ChillerCon.
Yeah.
Don't take that promise for real. I'll try to have something for you by then. It's in April, right?
April, yeah.
I'll get something for us by then. So if you find us...
It'll be my birthday weekend.
It'll be like...
Come out.
So give him a happy birthday. Buy the guy a drink. And yeah. So yeah, the end... So, boy. The one thing about the end... I've got to say is it's amazing how fast these guys can run in cowboy boots. They wore cowboy boots the entire movie. As a kid, I was like, you can't run that fast in cowboy. You can run that fast once in cowboy boots, but by the end of your run, you're like, I gotta take these fucking things off. I'll run in fucking socks. I don't give a shit. Running in cowboy boots, they run so awkwardly the whole time. But in the end, they come up with this harebrained scheme to basically run the Tremor off the edge of a cliff. Stampede comes back, and they win. And the guys win. The good guys win.
Yeah.
And Kevin Bacon gets his girl.
Yeah.
So all in all, I don't know.
I still liked it. I thought it was
Still
fun.
did.
I still did.
Did you know there were only 2 interior locations in the entire movie?
I did not.
Reba's house and the Wang's shop. The only 2 interior shots. Everything else is filmed outdoors.
That's awesome.
It's absolutely amazing.
Let's play another game.
Yep.
We did this the other week. Guess the Rotten Tomato score of Tremors.
Oh, shit. Damn it, Joe. I was like, I got to be the next one to do a Rotten Tomatoes score on Joe. And I never looked it up. I thought about that twice this week, and I never did it. Rotten Tomatoes score. 56.
56. No. An 84%.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be honest here. Was going to go in the 40s. And I was like, no, it's going to be higher. There's going to be people out there that really love this. 80?
84.
That...
You want to guess the IMDb score?
6?
Closer. 7.2.
Dude.
It's pretty high. Pretty high all around.
84%?
Yeah.
That's... Boy. It's
no Willow Creek.
when you vote on this on Rotten Tomatoes, when you vote on a movie on Rotten Tomatoes, there should be like a warning that's like... Before you choose this vote, I'm just going to remind you what else is voted in this realm. Okay? And it's going to be...
like Godfather.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be movies that high in that range, like that well thought of. Like, and you're going to be like, oh, wait, maybe I should rethink this rash vote after seeing this for the first time. Being like, this movie was fucking great. I loved it.
That's actually a great idea.
It really is. Like, because... when you look at these numbers side by side, they make no sense. They make no sense whatsoever. You see movies that you're like, that was so good. And you go on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 42.
Right.
Or like 3. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Did you know there was a Tremors TV show?
I did.
That came out in 2003?
Yeah.
13
I
years
saw
late.
that. Was it on Sci-Fi, right?
I'm not sure what channel it was on. It had
it was
16
Sci-Fi.
episodes. I thought it was weird that it came out 13 years after Tremors came out. But did you know it had Christopher Lloyd, Melvin.
Yes,
Melvin's in it.
Melvin's in everything.
Dean Norris from Breaking Bad.
Oh, I was going to tell you about that.
Michael Gross is in it. Michael Rooker's in it. Vivica A. Fox. Like they had all these big names.
That's crazy. I wonder what the ratings were for that. Obviously not good enough.
Probably not too good.
That's crazy.
There's a website called www.stampede/entertainment.com.
Stop it.
And there's an FAQ section, and you can just ask any question about any Tremors movie, and the director will answer you personally.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wait. Guys, come up with some questions. Email them to us. Twitter them to us. Send them to us on Tumblr. We got to get this guy some new questions. I'm expecting they're getting a little dry in questions.
No, there's like a lot of them, and like he posts. First of all, the website looks like it was made in 1991.
Of course,
it's like the Space Jam website.
Why do you know?
But he personally answers them, and then he puts like a little marker next to it if they're new questions. So it's pretty sweet.
Oh my god! And you know what? If the website looks that bad, that means it takes him like a significant amount of work to put that image in there.
Yeah,
like he's got to like edit the HTML code. He could just use Tumblr and do an Ask Me Anything page. Automated. Somebody should probably email this guy. Actually, don't, because that's going to be my plan. I'm going to be like, I'll give you, give me $2,000 and I'll make you a site where it just automatically updates. You won't ever have to do anything. He'll be like, what? Technology. All right, guys. We will be right back. We're gonna take it to our sponsors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This week's sponsor is 3 on a Meat Hook.
Yes.
A picture you won't ever forget, because it touches the full spectrum of the bizarre, the forbidden, the twilight areas of a life destined to be spent in shadow and agony. The screen may never again relate to this subject matter. It will certainly never again approach this treatment.
Oh, you know all about them, huh? You don't even know their names. Now get them out of here.
Look, Paul, why don't you just go on to bed or something? I promised to have them out of here first thing in the morning. But I'm not taking them back on that road this time of night.
Do they? I don't want to be unreasonable, but you know what happens to you when you get around women. And it must never happen again.
It ain't gonna happen, Paul. I'm gonna go fix him something to eat, and then I'll show him to the rooms.
A child's world robbed of joy by a secret conspiracy of suspicion and fear, dwelling like a lodger in the mind, insinuating its presence into every heartbeat, holding a black light to the dreams of childhood, forcing the will into blind canyons of loneliness and despair. A stolen life, pawned to a godless oblivion. The only ones left to mourn, the last witnesses to the execution, suspended in time by a puppeteer with blood on his hands. Little broken dolls that go on dancing after the music has stopped. 3 on a meat hook.
So there's our sponsors, 3 on a meat hook. Thanks, guys, for putting no money into the show. We appreciate it. So we're back. Joe.
Yes.
We're going to talk about most anticipated horror movies of 2015. We're going to split it into 2 weeks. You're going to be first this week, and I'll do mine next week. What are you most anticipating?
Okay. So, I love movies in general.
Yes.
I'm just going to focus on just the horror, but I wanted to give like 3 honorable mentions for 3 that aren't really horror, but I think will be sweet and worth a mention on the show. And that's Jurassic World, which I think is going to be awesome.
I think it's going to be great, too. I think it's going to follow the same formula as
the original.
Park.
Yeah. Terminator, the new one with Schwarzenegger back.
Oh, I didn't even realize they were doing that one.
With fucking Arnold.
Is there a trailer for it?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to check that out.
And the Mad Max movie with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Yeah, those 3.
I'm so pumped.
They're not going to be horror, but whatever.
No, Mad Max is going to be nuts.
So, horror movies that I'm excited for. What We Do in the Shadows.
Looks so good.
Looks awesome.
Looks amazing. That looks
Jermaine
so
Clement
funny.
is going to be in it. It's a vampire flick.
I heard they're looking for funding right now, though. Like,
oh, really?
The release is tied up right now, and they need like some more money to get it released in the United States.
Well, that's unfortunate because the original release date was the 13th of February.
Yes, and I think that's still on for the UK, but I don't think it has a US release date. I know.
Well, that's disappointing.
They were on Kickstarter, but I'm sure they're going to make it because everyone's pumped about that movie.
Yeah,
from what I've read,
it looks sweet.
Oh, dude, I was laughing so hard at the trailer. Wait, what did they say? Where my favorite line was the werewolves in it. We're werewolves, not swearwolves. That was so funny. It was just such a stupid. It was the
corny?
stupidest thing. Yeah, I laughed so hard.
So yeah, definitely that one. Hopefully that gets released soon. Also supposedly coming out in February on the 27th is the Lazarus Effect.
Yep, that looks now.
Olivia Wilde, Mark Duplass, Donald Glover.
Mark Duplass, is that?
He's from the League. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so he's in that.
Yep.
We're looking at kind of a zombie flick in that one, right? I'm not.
They're medical students that bring the dead back to life.
That's crazy. It kind of reminds me a little bit more of Reanimator style.
Yeah.
Than like just a straight zombie flick.
And with Duplass and Donald Glover, hopefully it has like not too much humor, but like it's just a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, exactly. They and that's what you need in like a real good horror movie. I think you have to break that ice somehow. You can't just be high tension all the time.
Yeah. The next 3 I'm going to say are probably my 3 most anticipated.
Okay.
Well, the next 2. One, I'll talk about it. The next 2 are probably my most anticipated.
Sure.
It Follows. It Follows looks fucking amazing.
And that girl from one of our favorite movies of last year.
Yep.
The Guest. And I want to say I didn't really. How am I going to say this? I liked her in The Guest a lot. I just didn't see her as like keep doing this.
Yeah.
I didn't imagine her like continuing making amazing movies, and it looks like she's making a second fucking amazing movie.
Yeah, this one's supposed to come out March 27th. Some people have already seen it because it came out at a festival.
Oh.
So it's already been released.
Yeah, that's right, because I think the release date shows 2014, technically, from one of the festivals.
And it's gotten some pretty good reviews from those that have seen it. it sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the description on IMDb is after Jay has sex, things start. I can't talk. That fucking beer. After Jay has sex, things start to go very, very wrong for her in a paranormal, murderous kind of way.
It reminds me a lot of Babadook in the sense that it's kind of like what Dark Knight to me did with Batman, which was take this ridiculous superhero and somehow make it like fathomable.
Yeah.
And Babadook did that with horror. It took horror and monsters, which are fictional, and made it like, fuck, that seems real to me. Like, you know what I mean? And I think this is like the same level. This is on the same level. It's taking this fictional thing, applying it to a real life, and making it somehow be like, oh, shit. Like, damn, that's wild. Like,
yeah.
And I'm pretty pumped for that.
I have high hopes for this one. The next one is Crimson Peak.
Guillermo.
Yep. Del Toro. He wrote this, or co-wrote it, directed it. It looks fucking awesome.
Yes. Now, there's not a lot of info on it, though.
There's not. It's just, you know.
But you know it's him.
Mia was, I don't know how to say her name. Wachowski.
Yeah.
Learns that her husband's not the person that he seems, but it stars Jax from Sons of Anarchy, who's worked with Del Toro before, and it's fucking Del Toro. It's gonna be awesome.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You're all gonna watch it.
I can't wait. And Tom Hiddleston is the husband, Loki from the Avengers.
Oh,
so it's gonna be. It looks stacked.
I did not know he was in that. He's the husband?
Yes.
Oh shit, he's gonna be creepy as fuck.
Looks awesome. Yeah, I think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
The next one is Victor Frankenstein,
dude.
My man Radcliffe.
Yeah,
it's the Frankenstein story, but it's told from the view of Igor, who Radcliffe plays, and James McAvoy plays Victor Frankenstein.
Do you think Radcliffe is going to do the Hunchback and everything, or do you think they're going to try and rewrite him? Ugh. Almost like Watkins from Sherlock Holmes was always portrayed as like this fat, tubby little shit that does nothing. And then all of a sudden the new shows come out and it's either a female or like a normal guy. Yeah.
A real good looking guy.
Yeah. So are they going to pull that move where like Igor's like, hey, I'm the most handsome guy on the planet?
I don't think they'll do that.
I think Radcliffe is going to go Hunchback in it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's going to go makeup.
I think he's a great actor. Actually, I took my fiance to see him on Broadway, and he's like a phenomenal actor.
And he did horns, so I don't think he's like afraid to like do something out of control to fit a character.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I love the Frankenstein monster movies.
Okay, cool.
So I can't wait for that one. This one I put on. I wouldn't say I'm really looking forward to it, but I think it might be fun. It's called The Last Witch Hunter. It's supposed to come out October 23rd. It stars Vin Diesel.
Oh my god, I saw this, but I didn't even read about it.
Vin Diesel, like this disgusting beard, and he's an immortal that must stop a witch-fueled plague in modern-day New York.
Oh boy, that's...
I was like, sold. Sold.
I mean,
Elijah Wood's in it.
Maybe he'll surprise us. Elijah Wood is?
Yeah.
Well, now I have to give it a shot. I usually give him a shot. He usually knows how to pick him.
He does. This one, I'm actually really, really, really excited for. Krampus.
Dude.
First of all, the whole mythology behind Krampus in like the European countries, they say that he visits bad children.
Right.
Instead of getting coal, you get visited by fucking Krampus.
Who eats you.
Yeah. And the director is the guy that made Trick or Treat.
So that's where I was going to talk to you about. Basically, our lists are the same, by the way. Nice. So this is going to be a real bust next week. Krampus. I'm curious to see what this guy does. My guess is Krampus is... I think it's going to follow a VHS type of storyline where it's anthologies.
Oh, really?
Around a narrative. First of all, he did it so well in Trick or Treat. Why would you stray from that? I mean, people want another Trick or Treat because it was so good.
Well, Trick or Treat 2 was supposed to come out this upcoming year. I don't know if it is anymore, but
probably he just was like, fuck it, I'm going to go Christmas on it.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping is, I really hope, because he does anthology so well, I really hope it's anthology because I love Trick or Treat. It was so fucking good.
Yeah.
I hope it's anthology based, like, kind of swallowed by this narrative of Krampus.
Not a bad idea.
That's like the overtone of the whole thing. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And it might be what happens.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. That's what I'm really hoping for. I think a movie based solely on Krampus. I mean, I guess it depends. I've never seen. There is
Actually,
another movie called Krampus.
There's actually a couple I was looking up. I was like, what the fuck?
They look
What's so many
terrible. They
Krampus
look
movies?
so bad. They look so bad. And this guy's going to do it a lot of justice, hopefully.
Actually, an intertwining anthology like Trick or Treat involving Krampus just visiting different kids. That is actually
It'd be amazing.
not a bad idea. I like where you're going with that.
I that's what I'm really hoping for on it.
The next one I have written down, I'm actually not looking forward to, but I know I have to see it just because, and that's the Poltergeist remake.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it.
You can't touch, man. How do you touch that? The characters in that, the little girl alone.
The little lady.
Well, that was my second thing. So the little girl, first of all, great child actor. She was so good in that.
Yeah.
Second, who's going to play the little old midget lady? No one. You will not. You can't replace that. You can't redo that. You better fucking make her CGI, and it better be fucking Avatar level CGI in that shit.
Like Tupac's hologram?
You will never be able to replace her. What are you going to do? No. Just stop.
Listen.
And if you ignore that role or like replace it with a guy that walks in, because it's like, oh, we're not going to touch her because that would be disrespectful to the franchise. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Then stop making it. You know what's disrespectful to the franchise is aborting it. Like,
and they haven't released like any details about it, which probably isn't a good sign.
well, they don't have to release details because you could go watch one of the best horror movies of all time and enjoy yourself. And be like, oh, they're going to remake this. Okay, there it is.
That comes out in July. You know Craig T. Nelson's just waiting by the phone for like a last minute. Like, hey, you want a cameo?
Hey, you be one of the skeletons that come out of the pool. Poor Craig.
So yeah, that movie's gonna suck.
I love
I'm
Coach.
already damning it. How about 31 by Rob Zombie?
So pumped for that. Can't even talk about it. First of all, no, I love Rob Zombie. I'm sorry.
The place it takes place in is called Murder World.
Yeah.
It's crowdfunded. It has evil clowns. I mean,
Is it going to get a theatrical release? It's probably just going to be VOD, huh?
Yeah, probably.
We should probably split it like a VOD account.
But yeah, that movie, I don't know why, but I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm so pumped for that. Beyond pumped. But again, I was saying this to Joe earlier today. We were talking about this. As more details come out, I get less and less excited. The first details were basically just clowns kill people. Rob Zombie promises a ton of gore and that it's only for horror fans. And I was like, well, that's fucking incredible. And then you start hearing the story and you're just like, oh, what is happening to this story? Kidnapping and oh boy.
Now, the next couple, I know I haven't talked to you about like ever, so I don't want to bore the listeners by just like listing them. I'll try and blow through it. Cooties, have you heard of that one?
I saw it, but I didn't look into it.
So Cooties stars Elijah Wood and Rainn Wilson. It's about a mysterious virus that hits an isolated elementary school, turning kids into zombies, and the teachers band together to fight the evil kids.
Oh my god!
So
as
an educator, I can't wait to see that.
That's going to be amazing.
And everyone that's listening, do yourself a favor and look up the poster for Cooties. It looks like it was made in like 1981.
Really?
It's the most throwback. It's fucking awesome.
So that kind of I am now super excited about that movie because one of my favorite websites, it's so old now, but was that one where how many toddlers could you beat up? And have you ever seen that website?
Oh, yeah.
You put on your weight, your height, like how athletic you are, how many times you work out, and it'll tell you how many oncoming toddlers you could kill before they overrun you and kill you. And that's basically what this movie sounds like it is. Like it's like, oh, zombie elementary school students? Who gives a shit? Well, when there's like 700 of them in your school, like
yeah,
they're going to overrun you. That's
awesome.
amazing. I'm super pumped about
Definitely excited for Cooties. How about Digging Up the Marrow, which comes out February 20th?
I'm not aware.
Adam Green directed it, who did the Hatchet movies as well as Frozen.
Okay.
And it's about a documentary exploring genre-based monster art, and it takes an odd turn when the filmmakers are contacted by a man who claims he can prove that monsters are real. Sold. The next one is called The Voices. It's by the director of Persepolis. It was like a foreign movie that won a bunch of Oscars.
Oh, really?
This one's, I don't know if it's going to be straight up horror or more thriller, but it stars Ryan Reynolds and Anna Kendrick. I'm not a big fan of Reynolds, but
I'm a big fan of Anna Kendrick.
this movie is about Ryan Reynolds, who plays a mentally ill factory worker who stumbles into the role of a killer, guided along the way by his evil talking cat and a benevolent talking dog.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
Oh wait, no, that was the one I sent you.
Wait, what?
What did you say the name of that was?
The Voices?
Oh, I didn't think that was the name of it. I sent you that trailer.
Yeah, now I don't remember what I watched or what the name of it was.
No, yeah, I didn't know the name of it. That's funny. That's really weird. I thought I'd never heard of this movie. Yeah, his pets talk to him.
Yeah.
It's like fucking Son of Sam, but it's like kind of got like it reminded me of like The Frighteners.
Yeah. You're right. Yes.
And honestly, it might have the same special effects level as that movie from like '98. Because like the mouths on the animals moving are so out of control. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, I was like, so I started watching.
That's what I thought. Son of Sam. I was like, yep.
When I started watching the trailer, I was like, oh, this looks so stupid. This looks so stupid. I thought it was like a romantic comedy in the vein of like a dramedy in the vein of, what was that movie where he falls in love with a doll? He falls in love with a real girl. Lars
and the Real Girl.
It's the Real Girl.
Wait, that's not Ryan Reynolds though.
No.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it made me think of that. Like I was like, oh boy, this is just like a movie about a weirdo that falls in love. Like, and then when the murders happen and the animals start talking to him, I'm like, my brain melted. I was like, I cannot wait for this movie. That movie looks so good. I cannot wait. I did not know it was called The Voices.
Yes,
though.
The Voices.
I wonder if it changed its name recently. I really didn't think it was that was the name of it. I just watched the trailer. I don't know. Anything else on your list?
There's a XX, which is the release date's to be determined, and it's an anthology movie of female-driven horror movie segments by all-female directors.
Oh, that's cool.
There's The Overlook Hotel, which may get released this year, and it's the origin story of the Overlook Hotel, as told by the first owner.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, see, it could be a disaster.
I don't know if you have to go there. That's the thing. Like, do I really care about the origins?
No, of course not. Nobody does, but I'll still see it.
Yeah, no, you have to see it.
There's Scouts vs. Zombies, which stars Arnold Schwarzenegger's son.
Oh, great.
But it's about 3 scouts on the eve of their last campout, and they discover the true meaning of friendship when they attempt to save their town from zombies.
Okay.
So,
I'd seen that, but I
Fuck it.
Yeah.
The new Phantasm movie. It's the final installment. Yeah, The Ravager. Cool. Angus Scrimm is back as the tall man. Met him once. He's a fucking man.
Really?
Can't wait.
All right, so what's your next one?
This one's going to suck.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see it. And it's The Sweet Blood of Jesus. It's directed by Spike Lee.
I saw that. I wanted to put it on my list, but the more I read about it, I was like, I can't put this because I actually don't care about this. I mean, I don't even understand it. I don't even understand it. I saw like images and stuff. I was like, I'm not even sure this is a horror movie.
But it's called The D.A.
Oh,
Sweet
yeah,
Blood
I
of
know.
Jesus. So I was like, yeah, I got to watch it.
I'm going to watch it, but I really don't know what I'm not anticipating it.
And I had a couple more, but just to wrap it up, I'll say Tales of Halloween. Have you heard about that one?
No. Oh, no. Is it anthology?
It is an anthology.
Oh, my God, dude. I love anthologies so much. I was actually have an idea to talk about just anthology movies with you.
And it has some like
another episode.
Darren Lynn Bousman, who worked with the Saw movies, and Lucky McGee. Like, they're all attached to it, and it takes place around Halloween time, so.
Oh, my God. When is that expected to be released?
I don't know if there was a release date.
Oh, my God.
But
That I'm super excited now for that. I got to check that out.
yeah, so I mean, it looks like a pretty promising year for horror.
I think it is. And there's definitely some on my list that you did not list. So I'm
Nice.
very pumped.
Excellent.
We will talk about that next week, guys. Before we go, we have to thank some people. You guys for listening. First of all, thank you guys so much. Response has been huge still. We really are pumped that you guys are all downloading and enjoying it. I think you're enjoying it because you're not telling us how much you hate it. So, as always, we'd like to thank Harley Poe for allowing us to use the song Gorehound off the album Pagan Holiday. You can find him at harleypoe.com and facebook.com/harleypoe. Both of those links, you can find his links to Bandcamp and iTunes where you can purchase his music. You can also check out our site, ihatehorror.com, and on the right sidebar at the bottom of the page, you'll see some links to where you can check him and his music out. You can find me on Twitter, robots8me.
Find me at JoV421.
We have a Tumblr page where you can contact us. I'm pretty much the only one on that right now, but I'll get the message to Joe if you have one. But we're pretty active there. It's probably the most active place you can find us, and that's I Hate Horror. That is correct. I Hate Horror.tumblr.com. You can also find us at our website, IHateHorror.com, and we have links to all of our social media there where you can contact us. Also, I don't have an email anywhere, but if you really prefer to send an email, I don't think you guys do, but Sean at IHateHorror.com, and I'll get them and distribute to who it belongs to. Most important thing, guys, please rate and review and subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher. That's going to get us more fans and get us out there more, and we can build this community and hopefully make it a little bit bigger. We've got some stuff coming down the pipeline, hopefully. We're going to be at some cons just hanging out, so you guys can come see us, and we'll be walking around buying crap we don't need. Basically, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Meeting people that probably hate us.
Yeah, swooning over people who could care less about me.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you. Adios.